larger time frame. You know, you could get into Oxy's plays. You know what I'm saying? And look, Lauren's on live. You can ask her different questions and stuff like that. I just get long winded and I start talking about hiking ashes, and it's just like, well, you just told him everything, Woody. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like she's here, so you can ask her questions and she'll guide you to the right place. You know what I'm saying? That's someone that also helps me. You know what I mean? So like, just make sure that you asking questions and that you're kind. And just communicate with people. That's how you're gonna figure out, okay, maybe I need to talk to this person, or maybe this person to connect me with this person. Just communicate with people and you'll find your way. But peace out.
There,
Joe
Hey,
Jordan.
Luke Jordan. It's
Peace
bouncing
out.
off that midpoint. See?
You see? Obsession. I love it.
Hey, Fried Daddy, we're gonna have to I don't know, when I get back to Mississippi, we're gonna have to
Let's
You know
talk,
what I'm
bro. Let's
saying?
do it.
I'm full with Friday. Friday understands me. You know? You need a Fried Daddy in your life. He gets me. Something. We're gonna sit down in the charts, man. Get us some good barbecue.
Oh yeah. Catfish.
Oh, there we go. There's some catfish, some barbecues on the chart.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna be just sitting there eating and just look at that right there. Mm-hmm.
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 There it goes.
Yeah. Mm. Mm.
You making me hungry, Jay.
Hey man, make you another sandwich, bro.
Hey, watch this, watch this. I found on Amazon I can order the marshmallows out of like Lucky Charms or whatever they make, different ones. You can order just a container of just the marshmallows, bro. Something wrong with that, but I'm like, I'm about to order some of that, man.
Hey, that'd be a cool way to make a s'mores though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
could,
ain't thought about that, bro. Yeah.
Bro, so let's look at some other stuff. So I was looking at, I mean, since we here, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's talk. Let's talk. Now, this was an earnings gap.
Yeah.
What's going on here? No, earnings gap as well. No, earnings gap continuation. There's that gap with the big volume.
Yeah.
It's continuing up. All right. And it's hitting the previous support here. Kind of little zone you can look at, but testing here. Amazon. I forgot to mention on the gap class, a lot of times big gaps will have, like, you can put a resistance or support level at the 50 mark, like halfway of the gap.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of times when you have big gaps, you can target the midpoint. That's not the open. This is the close. This is the open. Okay, this is the open. So like if Amazon retraces, it might come back to this white line and bounce off this white line here before going back up. It's also a little support area anyway. It's a lot of stocks that used to be really high that have dropped down a lot. Friday, how you been learning all this stuff, man? You talking real different compared to how you was, when you first started.
A lot of studying, a lot of watching, bro. you know, it makes sense though now, man. It's like, you know, after, you know, it's like the Luther biggest thing is, man, it's just exposure. It's like everything else. You listen, you listen, you listen, and one day it kind of clicks, you know? And so that's the biggest thing, man.
Yeah, you in a position where you can just take it all in.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you what I found out too is, I know this is goofy, but I'll take like classes like y'all record and I'll listen to it. And I may listen 20 minutes of it, 10 minutes of it, and I'll back it up, listen to it again. And it's just like, I mean, there's been times where I put that crap on, go to sleep, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just you're just putting it in your head, man. Eventually it, you know, you start seeing that jump.
Bro, it's gonna stick. It's gonna stick when you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, you know, a part of it is, of course, repetition of you doing it.
Yep.
You also need repetition of hearing it for it to happen. Otherwise, you know, it go one ear out the other. But the more times you hear it, the more likely it is to stick in your head. I don't know what's going on with travel. I haven't looked into like cruise lines like that. Carnival is testing this Carnival is testing the support it formed in the 1900s.
What?
Carnival is testing its 1993 April support.
Holy crap.
May, April, May. That is crazy to look at this. And that's what, so this is part of the reason why like I couldn't stop at long term. Cause seeing this, bro, like if you
Yeah.
bought Carnival Cruise Line back in, if you bought it anytime after July 1st, 1993, if you bought Carnival Cruise Line anytime after that, I wasn't even alive. If you bought
I know,
Carnival
right?
Cruise Line anytime after that, you would be down.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
held, you've held this stock for 25 years, 28 years, however many years it is, and you be down. You be negative. I couldn't imagine holding something for 28 years and being negative. Now, granted, you did at one point go up 700%. Hopefully, you know, somebody would have took profits out.
But look at the people that got in at 700% and started investing and look now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of that, I mean, you look at some of the, like this year, some stocks have been straight down for the past 7-8 months. And it's like, dude, people have put, imagine people coming out and just throwing a bunch of money into it because it's going all-time highs momentum.
Bro,
And it's like everything, man.
March 2020, it went down 60%.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy to sit that.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm not one for like lottos and stuff, but
This looks good, don't it?
the fact that we're testing a support, we have a triple bottom where the first support is
That's
from
right.
1993. You know, I might just have to get a 2024 call and just forget it exists.
If you go to a 12-month, you still get a triple bottom. I mean, you got 2020, and then you've had a pullback in 2022, and then you were there at 93. That's freaking crazy, man.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yep.
That's wild.
Because yeah, I mean, you look at January 20, it just shut down. Well, yeah, it was, yeah, they had shoot too, but still. Would you like to get some puts on that one, man?
Man, right?
Who else is
There's a lot of stocks that are below IPO too, like Alibaba. That's crazy.
like Roku is just shot down. It's just horrible. Which look at Roku. Is that a okay, never mind. I thought I had something different. Yeah. Mm, mm, mm.
And what's crazy is Roku used to go up like crazy after the
Yep.
turn. Roku
Yep.
used to be going. I remember when Roku was having earnings, it just meant buy calls.
Yep.
It just buy calls. Just buy calls. Buy calls. Just Roku. Just buy calls.
Dude, that's wild.
I don't know, bro. And then the thing with Snapchat too. Oh, Wayfair is all the way down here. It's too many opportunities, bro.
Yeah, I missed all that. I missed what they were doing.
That's a lot of stuff.
Holy crap.
Hmm.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And have you ever thought about, and I don't own enough stocks to do this, but on your on MIG, you posted your Google Bible thing, you know, with all your books.
Uh-huh.
So I was looking through the one about the introduction selling options.
Yeah.
And the numbers they put out there, like they were like at that time, 80% of options expired worthless.
That's
And
how
so they were saying that those guys, that a lot of brokers don't want to write, you know, selling options, but if you did that, it's like this. He's like, you don't have to get the perfect time. You ain't got to get the perfect price. It's like you just put an option out there, and it's, I mean, the person buying that option is having to times against them, all that, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of interesting to see. It's like, I'm starting to look like maybe I need to do like your that, but buy a bunch of Kroger, buy a bunch of Coke, like buy 100 shares and start putting them out there, you know?
yeah, start selling against your shares.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it, have you ever thought about something like that?
Ma'am. Yeah. I have thought about it. I mean, the premium you're gonna take in,
That's right.
a lot of times, right? Like think about if you sell one contract of SPY, that's, you know, the contract might be $300 that you sell or $400. But for you to have 100 shares of SPY
Yeah.
at $380, that's 38,000 shares. I mean, $38,000 that got to be in SPY, and you're selling against those shares, and you're gonna make $300. But so people will do it for passive income. I mean, as long as you have the shares, you know, you can, from this particular case, like if you just sold one contract, assuming that it went in your favor, you can make 300, 400 a week. You know, that's 1,200 a month. You know,
You
it's
take
doable.
like Sophie, it's like like Snap's $10 right now. So for $1,000, I own 100 things of Snap. You know, could I make that? You know, I don't know. I don't know that I would ever do that, but I've never
Look at
thought
how
about it
much
that way.
premium you're going to collect when you sell one contract.
Yeah, that's right.
That contracts are like $20.
That's okay. I got you. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So that's,
Yeah, I
for
follow you.
me, I'm like, yeah, I can have the, 30,000 invested,
Yeah,
but my 30,000 is generating me
I follow you.
300.
I
It's
follow.
great. I mean, it's not bad, but I know too much
Yeah,
for me to be able to just sit back and be like, well, I know how to scalp on the 1 minute and make $1,000 in 4 minutes, but I'm just gonna sit here and put up 38,000, to
20
try.
bucks. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I don't. But it's definitely like it's definitely a thing you could do.
When you put it like that, it really doesn't make sense to do it.
It's all about what your goal is. If you would rather, if your goal is to make passive income, then that's the way to do it. Because you just got to write the contract. But if your
Yeah,
goal
but I
is
mean,
to run it up, you can run it up over time.
yeah,
But you ain't gonna just be running it up like that. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
yeah. Well, and I guess from a other perspective is for me, it was like, okay, knowing their play, knowing their strategy. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Is so I guess when I started, I guess me been looking at that, I've been looking at, options a little bit differently. It's like I've never bought in the money. I mean,
Mhm.
y'all might, but I'm like, yeah, I can't. I'm gonna go down a little bit, and looking at some of that, all the stuff I've been trying to buy now has been at the money or in the money. Like when the calls y'all call out, I either go one above or one below.
Yeah.
And because I got to figure out theta, because Zay preaches theta on in the money, but I don't. I got, like, if you look up how to calculate it, it brings up black shoals and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. I just want to know, like, so I got to go through some more videos on that.
Yeah, you can, and that's how, like, for me, because when people used to ask me about the Greeks, I'd be like, bro, I don't know how to explain those. Back
Yeah.
then, like, I can tell you what they mean, but even now, I don't really, unless it's a strategy that because I backtest so much stuff, unless it's a strategy that's connected to a certain delta or a certain, gamma or theta values with this
Okay.
strategy, I don't even look at it, bro.
Okay.
Because right? You know that further out the money is going to deteriorate a lot quicker.
Yeah.
You know that the chance of you making money off of it is much lower, but you know that if it moves, like the stock moves, those are going to move the fastest unless they're about to expire in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, with that, you can put the logic and the terms, and you're like, okay, so that means that, the delta is going to be lower, and that means that the gamma is going to be higher on those. But all in all, it's safer to go in the money. You're just not going to have as large gains because the percentage gain isn't going to be the same. But who cares?
And I noticed it when I would buy further out of the money, like y'all be like, "Hey, y'all do today." I'm like, how the crap did I go red? And that would be my fault because I'm not following the right strike. And so that's why I stepped back for a little bit. It's like, okay, I got to stop and I got to figure this out because something's wrong. And it was just me being cheap or something, or like, but I didn't realize that me buying further out of the money, I thought made me safer. It put me at greater risk. It's what it did.
Yes.
It made my risk greater than my reward would have been.
Absolutely, bro. That's
and I didn't know that. So I figured I've recently figured that out. So my stuff's either in or at. It's like, I mean, it's within a 50 cents or $1 of it. I mean, I don't, and that's why some of the stuff you can't, like Tesla, I can't really buy Tesla in the money right now. I don't feel comfortable enough about, well, I could, but I just don't, I stay away from Tesla because it's Elon. It may be going good. He may piss somebody off. They just thought, so it's pretty volatile for me right now, which is good some days, but
don't do it then.
That's right. You got to feel what you're comfortable in.
Mm-hmm. All the time, bro.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm real bad about this. Anytime anybody calls, I pull up my chart and I look just to kind of get a feel. Now, there's been times I missed it, but that's fine. But it's just, I don't know. And some days I done figured out that some of y'all, I just take blind trades on. That's probably ugly, but it's like, yeah, I'm like Quinn on some people, like, yeah, just get in it, and because it's there.
I don't blame Quinn for saying it like that.
Yeah, you're right.
The reality of it is like, I always tell people, you should check the charts, don't trade what we're calling out blindly, which I still, agree to. Now,
Yeah.
When it comes to a scalp, Because like if you go look at my brokerage account,
Yep.
you'll see like I sent a screenshot in on one of them. Like I was in the trade for like 2 minutes,
Yep.
but the contract went up like $300. Oh, but when you know that 80, even at 80%, and most of the time, 80% is like kind of like bad for us.
Yeah.
It's like
That's
the
right.
lower
Yeah.
thing. You know what that means is statistically speaking, if I take everything they call out, I'm gonna win 8. I'm gonna lose 2 every time I take 10 trades. So I'm just gonna take whatever the hell they call out.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I know that I'm gonna lose 2 or even 3. On the worst
Yeah.
case scenario, I might go 7 for 3. Worst case. But if you manage your risk, like he said, I'm setting 10% stop, 10% take profit, then it seems like it's working.
I'm gonna say this too. In the previous chat group, you had to deal with a lot of I don't since it split, I don't know that we've had any issues, maybe 1 or 2, with somebody just kind of getting pissy about something. But previously it was always, not always, but it was a lot.
Dude.
And I'm gonna say this now, this group of traders, I'm not being ugly, being honest, is a different group of traders than December.
Yeah.
In a different I don't know. And but it's just, I mean, I'm like Quinn, I've been watching, I'm like, dude, that's like I told my daughter, I'm like, you need to get on here and just start. If they say buy, buy, if they say sell, sell. Don't even look at it, don't overanalyze it. Just get on there and do that. And it's like you said, I mean, money's money, man. Who cares? Money's money. I mean, Quinn, like I put 7,500 in my pocket last month, from just following somebody else's trades.
Bro, the fact that you can download this app, that man, membership, $200, if that.
Yeah.
And now you got 7,500
in your pocket. Why not?
in your pocket that you walking away with, that you can spend on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the money side, but because he's joined the classes, now he has the knowledge too.
Yeah.
And so he's learning how to do it for himself too. And so even if one day he decides he wants to leave the group for some reason,
yeah,
he know how to do it.
That's it. That's it.
That's the whole point, bro. Like, I love y'all. I want y'all to be here forever. But at the same time, I want you to be here because you want to, not because you need to be here.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I want you to be like, yo, I could just go do this solo, but this group is so great. And I know as soon as I leave, Jordan gonna come out with something like crazier. He gonna have somebody come do something.
I'm gonna tell you though, here's what I've noticed. Because of work, I've not been able to be as active as I was before Christmas. And there's some months I can be more active. But I've noticed that just having somebody to bounce, all right, girl, we see in the morning. Just having somebody bounce ideas off of, or having somebody to go, hey, am I seeing this right? Am I hearing this right? Am I thinking this right? Just having somebody there, man, is worth millions, because you try to do this alone and it's so much emotions into it and psychology into it that you'll screw yourself up. I believe. I completely believe that. It's just like Tom Hanks on that Castaway. It's like you've got to have somebody there. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I've noticed last probably few weeks. It's like I told my wife, I was like, I got to get back into where I can find me a time to sit down here, because I'll try to do stuff during the day and try to get stuff, but it's like I'm not always able to. I'm like, okay, my goal is till November. And that's why I've been trying to take and tighten down. And I might not quit my job in November, but I want to replace what I make in November. I want what I make here to equal or exceed what I make on my job. And I'm like, okay, then it's like what Jordan talks about. It's like them, okay, that's when you start using this money to build long term, to build that goofy stuff. Hey, there's a bunch of people on here, bro.
Yeah, we still 33 folks in.
Come on, y'all pop in. Come on, girls and boys.
Did you know you can make money when the market goes up and when the market goes down
Bro,
and when the
that's the whole thing. That's why we telling folks like you gotta create those habits.
Yep.
Because people will say they want to do this and they want to have this replace their job or whatever, but they don't trade like that,
Nope.
you know, or you
Mhm.
don't manage the account like that. So I'm like, look, you have to start off acting like you already do it. So when you make your profit,
Yep.
yo, you made $50, pull 10 of it out.
That's right.
Pull 10 of it out. You know what I'm saying? Pull 25 of it out and then just go buy yourself lunch. Go put it in your gas tank. Go get you some
That's
groceries.
it. That's it. Because
Yeah.
that was your one of your videos. And it might not be in your free ones, it may be one of the paid ones because I bought that. But it goes back to that. It's like if you make all this money and you never take none out and you lose it all, what have you accomplished? Nothing. You never had it in your hands.
That defeats the
Have
whole
something that
purpose.
you can show for. Say, you know what that is? I'm riding down the road because I got a hamburger because I did the stocks.
Yeah.
That
Bro.
and it makes you feel different inside, man. It changes your mentality.
And that's the bigger thing is that you really are starting to, because when you look at me or you look at Moody or you look at whoever, you're like, oh man, one day I can do that. Maybe, I hope. But like when you do it for yourself, even if it's that small thing, you're like, wait a minute, I can really do this. So yeah,
Yep.
you know, I made $25. I'm trading a $500 account. I got myself like, you know, a couple groceries or whatever, a snack, whatever the case. That covers my gym membership. But you're like, wait a minute. If I do this more, that can pay for my car note.
That's right.
If I do this more, there's a dude on live the other day who said he made the money to cover his mortgage for the month.
Oh wow.
And when you start doing it, then you're like, you don't get caught, because the biggest thing people get caught up in is like we just said, is they're like, oh man, I just hit 1,000. Okay, let me build my account to 5,000.
Yep.
You know, I might have hit 5,000. Let me go to 10,000. If they even are able to do that, but then they get to the point where they're like, I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to be stuck at your job still because you don't want to stop. You have to start pulling that money out. Make it real. Got to make it real. It's got to be real.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, bro. So you got it though. It's people in the chat who you can tell are getting it. You can tell
Oh yeah.
are making the progress. It's not an immediate thing, but as far as like getting it for yourself, like you could tell, like I said, you came in, you ain't know a lot about stuff. I remember our first phone call. It was a free 15-minute call. It ended up lasting like an hour. And you know, we talked about your daughters and all this stuff. And you were just talking about like how you had some money, you wanted to figure it out, you've heard about it, but you just was like, you know, I don't got nobody to ask. I need the first steps or something. And now look at you over here talking about broadening formations and stuff. Man, come on, man. That's how you can tell, like, yo, it might not be tomorrow, but like you're gonna get this because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not choosing to stop until you do.
Well, I'm gonna say this now. I've been around a long time. My wife's granddad give us Amway. If you don't know what Amway is, it's a triangle. I mean, a pyramid.
Pyramid.
And everything that I've ever done, somebody above me always made more money than me. And we're sitting here one day, and you said, "Hey, this is a good call." This is back in, I think, December. You said, "Hey, this would be a pretty good call right here," and you didn't take it. And then somebody sent you profits, and you're like, crap, man. He's like, this makes me mad when, you know, and you were joking a little bit. It was like, when I call, people make money off something I called out, but I didn't get in. And I'm like, and it hit me. It's like, this isn't a pyramid, dude. if I do what I'm supposed to, I can make 10 times, 20 times more than Jordan. And it has nothing to do with, that's what I'm saying. There's not in this, the more time I put into it, the more time I study, the more time I research, the more time I follow my trading plan, my risk reward, the more successful I'm going to be. Where I work in IT, and I can be the smartest IT guy in the world, but if they want to pay me $5 an hour, that's what they pay me, and I can study every night and it does no good. I
want to leave, they'll replace you like that.
Yeah. If I drop dead, they roll you out of the way and say, who's next? And this is the only thing that I've been looking, man, since 2000 for years, 2003, 4. And it's always been something going, I can feel it, man. There's something different. There's something different I'm called for. There's something different I'm supposed to be doing. And man, I joke about selling Avon. I'm just kidding, but it's like all this, and you run across this, and I'm like everybody else, your IG catches everybody. That's what it's called. 50 people on here said it. And I'm like, dude, this is anybody. I can take a number and buy something, but this has been the first thing, man, that this has been the only thing that says, this is it, man. You get in here to do this, you do your homework, you'll make bank. And, and until you were doing something the other day, and on one of your red calls, what was it? It was one of the calls you called the other day, and I could have misunderstood it, but you got into it, and I think it was the week you went one red. It may have been 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it might have been one the other day. I don't remember, but I know you was trading a different strategy, but
yeah,
when it hit your stop loss, you got out. And to me, I call that a successful trade. And somebody's like, why is it successful? It's because he saw something, he traded, and when the market went the direction, he followed his plan and got out of his stop loss. That's a successful trade. He didn't vary off. He didn't there you go. I traded what the market put in front of me. When it went the opposite direction, I got out. And a lot of people have a trouble with that, man. A lot of people have trouble with getting out.
The biggest thing with them is like, one, of course, it's most people have the issue of holding on to the losers and cutting the winners as soon as they see green. But the losers that go red, they're like, it's gonna turn, it's gonna turn, it's gonna turn, it's gonna turn, it's gonna turn. But then, like, I do the same thing. I when I take a loss and I put it in a chat, I'll be like, yo, like, learn from your stops, learn from your losses, but analyze the trade. This was a good stop. And I'll go back and I'll send the chart in again. And I'm like, I stopped out right here, minus 7%. Look at it right now. We would be down 60, right?
Yes.
So if I was trying to fool around and bro, like, and that's why I say, like, I care about win rate for the sake of the group chat.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't care about win rate as long as I get my bag on these trades.
That's it.
Because I can go minus 10, minus 5, minus 10, plus 80.
That's
you
it.
know what I'm saying?
That's it.
But at the same time, again, I also do care about winning just for myself. Like,
Yeah, but you lose it. Say you lose 3 10s and you win an 80, but you're taking a strategy that you've back tested and you're applying it, knowing there's possibility for some win-lose rates, and you're going that strategy and you're going that strategy. And it's not like, oh, I lost 10%, throw that in the garbage. Like, no, this has been something I tested on 100 ones. There are some losses. I come back. I just minimize those losses. And I think that's what's been helpful. I'm going to have to figure out. I'm not good at back testing, but I've been going back and taking either just scroll through the charts, or I will go through and do the replay and watch it go live. And like I would enter right here, and so some of the back testing on TradingView comes up with Pine scripts and all kind of stuff, and maybe I just misunderstand it, but I can go back and watch the live view of it, or I'll go back like what you call a play. I'll go back and I'll take that time in on that chart and go, okay, what would have made me get into it right here?
I was thinking that while you were talking, like, you could go look at when we caught stuff out and go pull it up.
I've done that. And then when you get out, a lot of times you can see when you get out, but it's kind of because it's, and then you called a bank out on 5. No, it was maybe SPX. Let me find it. Yeah, there it is. Because I was writing them notes because I'd made some notes on mine, and it was around July 18th, I think it was. Let me see if that's the right one. Yeah, maybe July 19th, 18th or 19th, maybe 19th. You called it, and it just it went from 38.56 to 4,000. I mean, it just shot up. And I had my levels marked previously from other support resistance, like what I saw earlier. And every time it went to that one of those lines, it went up, pulled back, and went up. The next support level, it pulled back and went up. And that's the first time all that really started making because I saw it. Really made good sense. I'm like, holy crap. So that's made more sense to me. But you're right. Some of these people are just like, I remember DC a couple months ago. We had a big call. Him and Quinn was both on there. Quinn was at the beach. DC sat in his car, and he'd be like, man, what about the lifetime membership? What about this? And Quinn had just made a bank or did something. He was talking about some stuff. And I thought Quinn was new. I didn't realize Quinn had been doing some of this stuff for a little while, some of the market stuff. But I'm like, dang, that dude's killing it, man. Let me find it. Yeah.
I don't even know what to say at this point, bro, because it's so many different ways you can do it. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So that's what I do. I go back to your time with your calls, and I just go back and look at stuff. But that was the 19th you called it, and it went, I think it was 19th. It went to maybe a different one. I think it was 19th. It went to the roof. Well, there was another one. There was no, it wouldn't. It might have been earlier than that, Jordan. It might have been on the yeah, maybe July 5th. You hit one on July 5th too. I think that went up pretty good. So either 19th or the 5th, you hit it, went through the roof. I'm like, yeah, I think it was around the 5th. And I'm like, holy crap. Anyway.
Well, that's why I try to put my charts in the channel too.
That's right.
So that y'all can see what I'm looking at. So one, I try to put the chart in the channel before my trade. So it's not just an empty call out.
That's right.
But you can like, oh, okay, he's looking at this.
That's it.
Triangle on a 2-minute or whatever. And so then I give the levels with it. I'm like, hey, if it breaks this, I'm doing that. So even if I'm getting into the trade, I'm trying to get filled, and I gotta take the trade, get filled on the trade, come into the chat, type it all out, make sure I type it correctly, right expiration, this, that, and the third. And by then, because I'm trading on a 1-minute chart most of the time, it's moving.
Yeah. You almost need a scribe, bro. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but
I thought about it.
Yeah. Especially what you're doing. If you're going to live trade, I'd almost have to have a scribe, man, for you, because it's just like you said, when you're trading the 1 minute, it's like you call a call and you've taken profit before you can get typed out. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've watched it. I've watched you. You called out one, I think it was today or yesterday. And you're like, I didn't get a chance to call it out.
I think it was 2 of them yesterday, bro. Yeah. Like I typed it out. I took it, typed it out. I went back to my brokerage to set my sell orders up, and it was already up 30%. And the candle just was going up.
Yep.
I just took a screenshot. I'm like, all right, well, sorry, like I'm trying to get these out, but it's moving too quick. That's what I was saying. I would have to like live trade on Zoom or get on voice chat. Maybe I'll do voice if I'm gonna do it. Maybe I know on Zoom, like my last live on Zoom, 6.5 hour long Zoom session.
I know, man. I know, dude.
I'll be so wore out.
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy too, is when I got in last year, it seemed like we were in a bull market. And this year seemed like for the most part been a bear. And I'm like, it hadn't really stopped anything. Success rate's still there. You know, that's what kind of got me. It's like, what do you do? Where do you go down? Like, man, just keep winning. Just keep winning. This is crazy. Yeah, I tell you what, I had a Monday and Tuesday last week. I kind of stayed at home. I didn't stay home, but I tried to get to myself some. And man, it was kind of quiet. And Wednesday we had to go to another hospital to review some software. And I stepped in a stupid truck with the boss, and that phone with the I like it was like, man, y'all went off last Wednesday. I'm like, dude, the market gods are against me. I called Amanda, like, I'm telling you, they're after me. It's like, so I told her, I said, I'm thinking which when they start back school, my boy he'll stay home a little bit. So I'm gonna stay home with him. I'll stay home with him for 2 or 3 hours every day. So I'm gonna be able to get back in the swing of things back in about a week. I'm ready too, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah, good, bro. You be popping in and you disappear.
Do you count the bottom, the open of a gap up or the open of a gap down? Do you count that as resistance or support? Or not really? I know you said you have a 50% line in between some of them, but do you look at the, I mean,
Yeah, it'll hold it as support or resistance sometimes.
Yeah.
On the gap. Yeah.
Because about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, you were on I don't know if it's Friday night or another one. And you were talking about gap ups for somebody. And you're like, well, look, in a market, if it's an uptrend and it gaps down, it's probably going to go back up to fill it.
Yeah.
But if it's an uptrend and it gaps up, it probably won't come back down to fill it, you know, that in that trend. And I'm like, oh, that was some gems. Because I've been watching all of it because there's been some gap up and gap down. I'm like, okay. And because I would chase some of those some. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what we looked at. So like earlier when people was talking about on the class, people was talking about like, so are there gaps that have never been filled? You know, we pulled it up, and that's what I was saying is not to say, because most gaps do get filled.
That's right.
Up or down, most of them do. But when you have stocks that, like Apple, you know, have a historical strong uptrend, then there's bound to be a gap somewhere down here.
That's right.
That hasn't gotten filled. I think I just found one.
Yeah,
right?
I see it.
So
Yep.
of course we got like post split prices, but right here there's a gap from 38.67
Yep.
to 40.81 right here. Right. And never ever again have we come all the way back down.
Mm-mm.
All right. We never came back down to 38 or $40. So this gap might be a gap that stays forever.
That's right.
Because for Apple to come back down here,
I don't know that it will, bro.
right? That's what I'm about to say.
I don't know that it ever will.
Off the highs, that's an 80% decrease. It has to drop 80% from its highs to tag that. Apple shouldn't be dropping 80%.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm saying it's impossible, but I would bet a lot of money that it wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just do not believe it. And like you say, some of those things, I mean, if you're recent and it went up or down or something, if there, and I've been watching some of these gap up and gap down, like SPY had some, it would gap up. It might be a week later or 2 weeks later, it popped back down, you know? And so I think it was SPY, maybe a different one.
They usually feel, but
Yeah.
like I said, you know, when it's moving in the same direction of the trend, the chances of it filling start to decrease.
That's right.
The chances of it filling soon decrease as well. It's not because for you to have it fill a gap. So if it gaps up in the uptrend, for you to have it fill the gap, that means it has to flip the trend long enough to fill the gap.
Yeah. And like you say, unless something just crazy happened, I don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't.
It's not, and that's the same thing for, the stocks that are in the downtrend because they're like headed towards bankruptcy or whatnot.
Yep.
As they head down, why would they go back up? Like, who's gonna buy them to make them fill the gap if
No.
they're headed towards bankruptcy?
That's right.
Nobody. So that gap is gonna stay there. But I think it is like 90-92% of gaps get filled. But it's just a matter of picking the right ones and then the time that it takes to fill it, which we know, again, the bigger the gap, usually the longer time it takes to fill, because
That's right.
a $50 gap means you need a $50 move. A $1 gap need a $1 move. Which one's more likely? I forgot all about the chat.
I did too, bro. I was just started thinking about that. I'm like, what the heck?
A lot of these folks that was talking to sleep. Oh, they done got off.
Let them unmute. Hey, look at your urethrium, Jordan. Your UTC
Oh, Ethereum Classic.
Yeah.
It's still pushing, or it came back down?
Well, it did. So if you go back to your 1 minute and look, I think it's 1 minute. Yeah. No, that ain't what I was on something different. What were we on?
No, this is what we was on. I was on.
I did T without the T, maybe D.
Yeah, I'm trying to see which one I was on because they
USD.
all different.
Yeah, because mine look Coinbase maybe. No.
I don't think I took the lines off of it, so I don't know, bro. I don't know. I can't figure out which one it was that I had.
I'll take a screenshot and send you just so you can see what it's done. I'll put it in general chat. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying it helps me because I'm like, I don't know, it's just a different, I don't know. If I'm on, I don't care. It's helped me look at some things, and plus help me see that like it's not some new way to trade or nothing, but it's just I'm gonna put it in general chat.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing people that was asking questions.
Crap, man.
They are all off the Zoom.
Oh my God.
I actually answered some of these questions though without even knowing them. Like they was asking about the trend line. But like I was saying, the trend line got tested. It didn't. Yeah. So it tested and it broke through by a couple cents on the trend line. That's one of the things I think people like don't remember. Carvana XLF. Would you wait to buy more Apple or now? Join us for the barbecue and chill. Oh, and charts. Am I gonna trade? Did earlier. So yeah, I don't know which one of these. Oh, here we go. This is the one we was looking at.
Yeah.
Yep. And it came back. It came back through. And shot right back up. Oh, let me go back to the chat. I read the chat and then didn't respond.
Yeah, let's see.
I can't pull the chat back up.
Would you wait to buy more Apple? I don't know about that. Let's see.
So about like, here's the thing. So I don't know what the heck the market got going on at this point. I was saying I think we retest 417 on SPY, and that's going to determine. So as far as like buying Apple right now, regardless, if you think it's going to go back to all-time highs, then you're factoring in yourself for a 12% gain anyway. Right? So at the end of the day, you're not buying at the top, you're securing a 12% move, but you know, right now is making this move back up. It's no longer in the downtrend on the daily. Shorter term, it looks like it might go ahead and make this move back up here, really. If nothing happens with the market to stop it. As far as Carvana, what's the ticker symbol car? Nope, that's Avis. Carvana, we got earnings coming up that might do something for it. And you see the big sell-off, but you see it's done started basing out support right here. Yeah. So I haven't looked at, I mean, y'all talking like long term. I haven't really dug into any fundamentals for a lot of companies lately. To really know. I haven't looked at fundamentals since maybe like February. So I don't know. But I mean, you had the earnings catalyst coming up. It looks like the past earnings, this one jumped up. This one looks like it moved down. So I don't know about it as a company for me to be able to make a decision on that. But looking at the price, I guess this line really should go here.
What do you do?
And we got potential trend line here. Right. You see the rejection, one rejection, two rejection, that was third touch. But we're also making higher lows, right? So we see that we came down here, here. This move low is higher than these. So it's a tough call, especially going into earnings like is next week. From a technical standpoint, I would want to trade the breakout, really. If we can get one, since we're not, unless we move back down below here. But until then, I'm looking for a breakout above. And XLF. And just fill this gap here. Oh, it's my first time, to be honest, since we've been on this call now.
I'm on to go, Jay. I'm falling out, man. My sandwich is wore out, bro. We'll see you in the morning.
All right, bro. I feel it, man. My eyes a little, I just yawned for the first time.
I know I caught that, man. I said I gotta go. I'm about to pass out.
What time we get on? 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been on 7.5 hours.
There you go. That Zoom call always gets us.
Yeah. But all right, Friday, Daddy, be smooth, man. Have a good night. I go to sleep on here, wake up, keep charging. Everybody in the chat saying good night. Yeah, y'all. I'm running out of a little steam here. Unless somebody else, it's like 2 more people unmute and I'm about to be done. Traded all day. I had 3 meetings. This XLF filled the gap here, so we took that target out, testing trend line here. All right, trend line resistance. So So yeah. Yeah. Tell you like that. Once you hit a 7.5 hour Zoom, it's like you need somebody camera on, chopping it up with you for you to maintain. But like me talking to a bunch of boxes. And y'all saying later, see y'all Monday. Next week, you'll hop on. Yeah, I'm out. All right. Dang. Why do I feel like I haven't done enough? Why do I feel sad? Like, I don't ever like enough. Why I feel like I ain't done enough, man. Sunday live. I don't go live Sunday. We have Zay and Avery have their Sunday class. Jay posts a recorded Sunday night watch list and like weekly overview. And then he comes back on Monday for the pre-market zone. But nah, I usually don't go live on Sunday. I did last Sunday, but that was just a little something. KH said I probably feel tired. Yeah, especially I don't know if you in the Discord or not. But like the other day, I fell asleep in the gym parking lot. I didn't go to sleep that night. Like I worked out, walked a mile, fell asleep in my car. Yeah, Sigma, Cycle. Big dog. Appreciate it, iPhone 11. I'm gonna get some sleep, y'all. I want to stay up, but my head done started throbbing a little bit. I ain't drank no water this whole. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, we've been on 7.5. Yep. All right, y'all. I'm out. Gonna stop the recording. 27 people stuck through to the end.